Now, the way that I would describe FanExpo Canada is a marathon and not a sprint, and that can be very, very overwhelming if it's your first time going. And even if it's not your first time going, it's a lot, especially if you're only going for one day, which I definitely think you can do, but you'll definitely see more if you go multiple days. So, this is my official everything you need to know before going to FanExpo Canada 2025 video. Hello, if you're new here. Hi, I'm Victoria, your Toronto pop culture girly, and this is my home con. I've gone for at least 6 or 7 years now, not including Toronto Comic-Con, which is also held by FanExpo earlier in the year, but that is a smaller con. It's about half the size of this con, one less day, but FanExpo Canada 2025, 4 days, and I'll be going over everything from buying tickets, where to stay, how to get there, accessibility, navigating, what to bring, what to eat, photo ops, autographs, panels, and just general other tips that I have. Everything will be timestamped in the video. And in addition to that, on the first Thursday of the con, I will be trying to film a wayfinding video to have posted that evening. So if you're attending on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you'll be able to see that in advance. Hopefully. But starting off with buying tickets, the place to buy tickets is the FanExpo website. I would not suggest buying it resale because you have to register your badge once you're there with the info that you bought it with. It is past the deadline this year, but you can return tickets. The deadline this year was August 7th, so now you can't return any tickets if you buy them, but for next year, that is an option if you're unsure what days you're going, depending on the schedule and your own schedule. And if you don't know what days to go, I would suggest Thursday and Friday. They are the least busy days. Even Sunday last year was really crazy, but Thursday is definitely your chillest day. It does have reduced hours. I think it's from like 4 to 9. So it's only a few hours of the con. There's not as many panels or celebrity guests that day, but if you want to get a lot of shopping done, I would suggest it on the Thursday because again, it's the least busy. If you're carrying a lot of things, you don't really have the crowd issue that you have to deal with. But Saturday is definitely the biggest day and is usually the biggest headliner day for panels as well. In terms of pricing, single day tickets are $40 for Thursday, $50 for Friday, $72 for Saturday. Again, trying to reduce the number of people going / highest demand. And Sunday is $55. You can also get different 4-day passes. So the 4-day pass is $140. So you are saving a good amount of money. If you're planning on going on Saturday and Sunday, you might as well get the 4-day pass. It is cheaper and you do get like to come in early on Thursday at 2 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. The ultimate pass, if you're already planning to attend on the weekend, you want somewhere to sit down and you want some free goodie bags, it's only $179. There are still ultimate passes available, so that is a really good option. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck in terms of going through priority entrances, having a lounge space to sit and hang out, the goodie bag itself, and it really is a cost of about 3 days of the con. So if you're already going 3 or 4 days, you might as well just splurge. I'm just saying. And lastly, there are VIP 4-day passes. These are $579, quite expensive, so you really have to want it to get it. It's also sold out, so it does sell out every year. You get to skip a bunch of lines, have VIP seating at any of the panels, so that's usually the first 2 rows. They like section it off just for the VIPs, different express lines for photo ops and whatnot, everything I'll be listing on the screen. So if you're really serious about like panels and stuff, definitely that is an option to consider next year. Again, it is sold out this year, but there are options for family passes, youth passes, and children's passes. I believe children's passes are 6 to 12, youth passes are 13 to 17 years old, and they will probably ask you for proof of age if you buy those passes, so don't just buy them because they're cheaper. And if they sell out of the children's or the youth passes, you just have to buy an adult pass at that point, but those are good options. And lastly, if you're looking to see a specific celebrity or panel, I would double check the schedule and then buy the ticket for those days because it's not guaranteed. Like if you buy a ticket for Saturday and you want to see Haley Steinfeld and maybe she's not there, be aware of that. But also celebrities can pull out at any time, so don't be too set on anything. You want to be able to go for the experience and not just for one thing. Now on to where to stay. If you are traveling in from outside of Toronto, you don't live here, and you need to get a hotel or Airbnb, I would suggest anywhere along the Yonge University line. That is the most convenient because it is a single subway, no transfers on the way to and from the con at Union Station. Essentially, if you stay anywhere that's easy to access Union Station from, I would definitely recommend it. That includes GO stations or UP Express. If you have the option to park and ride, like drive to a different station like Yorkdale or something like that, and then take the subway, definitely better than taking a car or spending so much money for their recommended hotels. They do have 4 different recommended hotels that are partnerships. I think there's a slight discount, but again, it's like over $250 a night, and that includes the Intercontinental, Sheraton, Hyatt, and Fairmont. The Intercontinental is sold out for this year, and this is the one that sells out most years because it is attached to the convention center itself. So there is a dedicated door for hotel guests going from the hotel to the north building. So that is a slight perk of being in that hotel. Again, if you want to drop a lot of things off in your room, you need a lot of place to unwind and cool down and just really be in the con at all times. That's the hotel. But again, it is sold out this year and it is quite pricey. Getting to the con, your best bet is finding your way to Union Station. That is the hands down easiest and most recommended way to get there. So TTC, Yonge University line, streetcars, buses, so many TTC vehicles will go to Union Station, and then it is about a 10-minute walk from there. GO train, GO bus, UP Express. Again, if you can make your way to Union Station via public transit, I would recommend it. Those all just take Presto card too, so it's really easy. Again, if you're from out of town and you don't have a Presto card, you can just download it on your Apple Wallet or pay directly with tap on your credit card. Super, super easy. Walking to the con, that's something I've done before. I also end up taking the TTC home. It takes a lot out of you being at con all day. So I personally usually walk to the con and then take transit home. Those are options. Uber is an option, but it is not great for traffic. I would not suggest taking a car or driving. There isn't really a dedicated lot on the website. They don't list any parking options, so it'd just be city parking, which is expensive, hard to navigate, and on Friday and Thursday, there is a lot of work traffic, so would not recommend it. If you are going to be driving, especially from further, would recommend just doing like a park and ride option at a different station, or just pay the expensive parking for in the city driving. There will be traffic and it's gonna suck, so would not recommend that. Now on to accessibility. There is a lot to talk about in terms of accessibility, but my first piece of advice would be if you need a mobility aid and you're considering not bringing it, you probably want to bring it because there is such limited seating throughout the con, and I think it's even more reduced this year. There are some built-in benches in the south building. There is seating within panels, and I would definitely recommend going to panels, but that's not really like a hangout area, but it's a good place to rest your feet, learn something new, be a part of the community, because other than those 2 areas and the VIP lounges in the south building, so if you have an ultimate or a VIP pass, there's the 2 different lounges there, there's not really anywhere to sit. Especially in the north building at Toronto Comic Con this past year, they also flipped over some chairs that were available between the walkways and stuff. Really rude. There was absolutely nowhere to sit. The food courts too have been reduced this year. Mostly pizza. There is a small other food court, but if you need somewhere to sit and you use a walker or something, like bring your walker. Bring what you need because it is, again, a marathon. You're going to be standing a lot, and there's a lot of places where you can't skip the lines. That being said, there are some accessibility entrances. If you're entering through the south building and going through that ticketing area, if you go towards usually the right, near the priority entrances, there is an accessibility desk through there. The attendants will guide you to where that accessibility door is. That will kind of let you skip the line, but also get your medical sticker. So if you're using a mobility aid or you need any other medical assistance, they will put that sticker on your badge for you and also help you out, like giving you the lay of the land in terms of elevators, because the elevator maps are awful. It's actually bad. There should also be a medical desk check-in area on Front Street at the north building entrance. That is usually at the entrance past the second cup on the main floor. That is where you get the elevators up to the ticketing hall. So usually they either have the medical desk right there by the elevators, or it is once you go upstairs to the ticketing hall hall. I couldn't find that information online, but based on past experience, that's where that's located for the north building. That is also the entrance if you need the elevator for the north building as well. If you require a medical companion to assist you throughout the convention, you can request a complimentary medical companion pass. So that guest has to stay with you the entire time you're at the convention, but it is free for them to come and aid you. If you have a multi-day pass, you have to keep on going to the medical table every day to pick up their pass. If you are deaf and you want to go to panels, there are interpreters usually for the main stage and main panels. I would usually bet if you go to something on the main stage, there should be an interpreter there. It's not guaranteed, and it's not guaranteed for the smaller panels as well. And within panels themselves, if you use mobility aids, there are some designated accessible seating in each panel. It's still recommended you arrive at least 15 minutes prior to the panel to kind of secure those seats. You can't really skip the lines too much when going into panels either. And those seats are first come, first serve. So if they fill up because there are a lot of people who need them, you might get stuck to the back. If you're one to get overstimulated easily, I would definitely recommend you bring your earplugs. I bring my loops or noise canceling headphones. It is a lot, and there are bright lights, loud noises, a lot of white noise going on. Bring some fidget toys. I definitely do. It's a lot, and there's not a lot of places to kind of sit down and wind down. If you need to, I would definitely just recommend leaving through the south entrance and hanging out on the lawn. It is in direct sunlight, but you will get a little bit of a breeze. Maybe walk out by the water if you have some extra time and really decompress, because it is a lot in there. It's a lot. And lastly, if you have any mobility aids and needs, plan to take a couple, almost double your travel time between buildings, going from point A to point B, even throughout the hall itself, because it gets really congested, it gets really busy. So navigating a walker, cane, wheelchair, even a guide dog, it takes a lot, and you will get from point A to point B a lot slower. And most of the elevator banks don't go to all the floors you need, so you will be taking at least 2 to 3 elevators just going from point A to point B within one building. I think it takes like maybe 4 or 5 different elevators to go from like the south building to the north building panel hall rooms. It's not great, and the signage is not great. The attendants don't really know because a lot of them are volunteers. Again, I will try to do a wayfinding video for this, but I've gone like the past 3 years with family members who need mobility aids and taking the elevators, and I still struggle with it. It's bad. I've had attendants also be really, really rude when we're just trying to leave. Got yelled at for going towards the elevator bank where I knew we could leave. Apparently the staff member didn't want us to leave that way, and we ended up having the Metro Convention Center staff kind of overrule, and they're like, just leave. Like, you're allowed to like leave the building. Like, don't listen to them. Just go. So it's not great. Accessibility, I will say, it's not great. So bring all the tools you can to get the best experience that you can. On the topic of navigating still, as I mentioned with the elevators, it's a mess. It's bad. It's not great. And if you're going between the buildings, 100% I would suggest you leave and exit either the south building to go to the north building and vice versa. Because if you're taking the walkways and pathways, it is sweaty, it is congested. It will take you upwards from 30 or even more than 60 minutes going between the buildings.
I made it outside because the main hall is going to be in the north building. There's a lot of different scaffolding here, so I'm just going to walk around to the north building. Hopefully our VIP can get us in a lot faster. Also, life hack, if you're trying to get between the buildings, it's probably the easiest just to go outside, or because sometimes it takes over an hour to get to the other side. It's like peak Saturday, so go outside. And even sneakier, especially if you have like media badge. And I think if you have a VIP badge, you're able to go through the intercontinental doors. So from that like lower Simcoe Street, I'm able to go from the car entrance, or the car pedestrian entrance, up to the main lobby of the Intercontinental to get the sneaky little door with usually no line. Again, you need like a press badge. But yeah, that's my tips and trick on how to get to each building the fastest. Have some stormtroopers and stuff and Iron Man here, but if you go around the side, there is the sneaky entrance into the convention center. where the media badge is good. See, I mean, other than bag check, because I have a lot of bags on me right now, super easy. Best store. But again, I think it's only like for VIP or hotel guests or something.
Personally, having my press badge, or if you are a hotel guest, then you can go sneak through the Intercontinental as well. But that you can't do that if you're just like a normal person. So you still save so much time by going outside. And it is a lot of times cooler. Even if it's 30 degrees outside, it's sometimes cooler to be outside. On where to eat, I wouldn't suggest eating in the con hall. You can bring a water bottle into the building. It says you can't bring outside food unless medical necessary, or if it's baby food for a baby, but I usually bring a granola bar in case I get faint, because I will feel faint and I've been close to passing out before. But really, with their food options this year, it's mainly pizza. They did that at Toronto Comic Con, where they literally only had pizza. But according to the map, there is a small food court as well. But the options aren't good. They are expensive, and I think you should leave the building if you want to buy food. The best option I would suggest is Union Station. There's a lot of like quick serve places. A lot of the places in Union Station are also really good. There's like a Shake Shack, there's Wurst, there's Union Chicken, I think. I don't know. There's a lot of really good restaurants they've been adding to Union Station if you want a quick but good bite. There's obviously the street meat vendors around outside the con hall if you want a outside hot dog. And in terms of like sit down restaurants, I wouldn't really recommend the ones that are right by Union Station, kind of like Loose Moose or Scatterbush. I would recommend walking up to King Street. King Street will be a lot less busy in terms of restaurants, like Lobster Burger Bar. I really love Lobster Burger Bar. But yeah, you'll have a lot better options for seating and just taste wise compared to like Boston Pizza. In terms of what to bring, definitely bring a water bottle. That is allowed in. The water stations, again, aren't clearly marked, but usually they are by the bathrooms, so you will be able to refill your water throughout the con. You will need it. Bring a water bottle. If I can't stress this enough, bring a water bottle. If your phone is prone to dying, bring a charger and a cord. I definitely will be doing that. Good shoes. You will be walking a lot, standing a lot. If you're cosplaying and you have like funky shoes or heels or anything, I would also probably suggest bringing a bag or a person to carry your bag with extra shoes in it to take off when you get overstimulated and you're ready to be done, essentially. Bring your credit card and cash. Cash especially, because not all of the vendors will take card. Sometimes service will go down and their little square readers won't work, so having cash is good. And usually you save on taxes if you pay in cash, if you know what I mean. If you're planning on shopping, bring some reusable bags. They have some there. They're not great, or they're the stupid really large ones. So bring your own tote bags. Why not? If you're planning on buying a poster, bring your own poster tube if that's something you own, or even like just like bring a tube to put it in. Plan ahead that way. If you're buying comics, I usually bring a little case for comics or a file folio if I'm planning on buying prints. I'll usually do this on the Thursdays just because it's a little less busy, but you don't want your stuff to be damaged and it'll kind of get crumpled throughout the day if you don't bring it. There are places where you can buy like top loaders and stuff, but again, it's so much more expensive to buy it in the con hall itself. But if you don't have any, you can do it there. It's an option. And lastly, maybe like bring a phone strap or something. Have a good bag that zips, and be very mindful of your bag because there are a lot of pickpockets, and I'll stress this again later. Photo ops and autographs. Now, this is something that I don't usually spend money on myself, but buy it in advance on the website. Definitely something I would recommend if there's somebody you really want to see. Buy it in advance. I'm pretty sure there are tables in the North Hall where you can buy it the day of or weekend of. I'm not quite sure how that works, but follow all the instructions in your emails in terms of timing. You want to get there on time because I'm pretty sure if you're late, they might not let you go, even if you spend your money. All of the photo ops and autographs are in the North building, so if you're in the South building at a panel walking through, budget yourself like 30 minutes to an hour to get over. As I said before, walk outside. That's your easiest bet. Also have the app to check for cancellations, check your emails about cancellations cancellations because actors can and will pull out last minute. It's happened before, it'll happen again, it might happen to you. You might have to schedule a new time because now they're coming on Friday instead of Saturday. I'm fairly certain you will be refunded if the actor cancels on you, but always be aware. You might not get what you paid for, and that's okay. As I said, don't just come to Fan Expo with all of your eggs in one basket. There'll be a lot of fun things to do throughout the weekend, but actors can and will pull out. It just is. And lastly, if you're choosing between photo ops and autographs, if you're doing a photo op, the time in that interaction, if you want to have a meaningful interaction, tell them anything other than hello and then pose for a photo. It really, honestly, you get like 10 seconds to pose for the photo at most. I'm pretty sure one of the photo ops I had before, they kind of got mad at the actor for saying hi to people. So if you want a little bit more of an interaction, maybe opt for the autograph. Both are great, you get to see them. But if you want a little bit more of an interaction and tell them hello, I would maybe suggest doing the autograph. But again, I don't really spend my money this way. It's up to you. If the photo you get printed at the photo op turns out bad, just ask them to reprint it because sometimes their settings aren't great. Like one of our people in our photo was wearing a white t-shirt and it didn't look good. It got all funky and weird, so we got them to reprint it. You also have the option to upgrade and buy a digital copy. A lot of people do this as well. It is nice to have the digital copy. And for both of these interactions, the photographs and the autographs, you will not be able to have your own recording devices, phones out, anything like that. So be aware. You won't be able to just like get content of the celebrity you're trying to meet. On to panels now. If there's a panel that you really, really want to see, get there early. If it's a main stage panel, it might even start lining up before the previous panel ended. There are usually guides in attendance. Make your way to the building where the panel is early. I think the main stage, again, it's not confirmed on the website right now, but usually the main stage is in the north building in the basement area. So there will be a lot of people with signs for lines. Generally, if you show up before the previous panel ended in that room, you can line up and wait outside. Check the app if any panels are canceled last minute. Sometimes the cancellations are on the doors themselves. You never know. Make sure you go to smaller panels. Those are really fun. It's a lot more intimate. It's a really great if you have any niche things. They are usually run by community members. I've run panels before. I've had friends who run panels before, and it's really great for connecting with your fandom. Definitely recommend. And lastly, these are my just general other tips of attending the con. First of all, take your time and explore. If you have multi-day pass, don't try to do everything in one day and go from sunup to sundown. It's a lot. I've done that before. It hurts. It really hurts. Also, check out surrounding events to the con. I know sometimes there's some concerts, game nights, happy hours. There is no drinking in Canadian cons. That is something I learned by going to American cons. You can just have a beer on the floor. You can't do that here, so you kind of have to go to the outside events if you want to do some drinking or anything. Stormcrow Manor is one of my favorites. That is like a D&D kind of nerdy themed bar, or their sister location Offworld. Definitely recommend them too. They are a very spacey theme bar, so like imagine going in like Star Wars and Star Trek cosplay to that bar. It's incredible. It's really fun. Secondly, be aware of pickpockets. It's an ongoing issue. It's happened for many years. It doesn't really get better, so just be aware of your phone. I've never lost my phone. Cross my fingers, probably because it's mostly in my hand. It's not in like some outside pocket of my bag or anything, but be aware of pickpockets. They are there and you are not immune. Thirdly, if you're attending with friends, make sure you have their numbers in your phone, not just Instagram or iMessage. Sometimes, again, the service and the LTE goes down. You might still have bars, so having their number to send an SMS text message, an actual text message, a green bubble, force it through, that will help you a lot in finding them, because again, if you lose them, your service is down, what the fuck. Adjacently, make sure if you're attending in a group, if anything happens, have a meetup spot. If you can't communicate, if something goes wrong, have a meetup spot. Have those plans in place. If you're planning on making content at the con, again, tripods aren't really recommended. It's kind of big and bulky. People kind of will walk over you. But my main thing is if you're doing TikToks and you have TikTok audios you want to use, again, if service goes down, you won't be able to access them unless you pre-recorded them as drafts in your TikTok beforehand. So like if you just record a video with the same audio, save it as a draft, you'll be able to access it offline, either delete the previous clip that you had before or use the audio again. But it really helps save you on battery as well, because that is not trying to find you service when you could just be on airplane mode and access the drafts. A smartwatch. I love my Apple Watch for cons. Again, especially while using the app, you can set what schedule items you want to attend and have notifications either like 5, 15, and 30 minutes before, so you can set which one you want the notifications to come. And I have those notifications on, and it will help me remember my schedule, because once you're in the con hall, you lose track of time. You don't see daylight. It is a lot. So to make sure I'm staying on schedule, I use the app. It's also good for cancellations, seeing where everything is, map access, the whole shebang. The app isn't good, but definitely recommend you get it because the website is worse. And if you need to check anything about the con, you need that, okay? Even if it's bad. And the last thing I want to stress is cosplay is consent. Yes, so don't take pictures or videos of people of their cosplays without asking them. And definitely do not touch people without asking them. Also, just don't touch strangers. That's weird. That's on you. You need to ask for consent before anything. If you're filming people for videos, this, that, ask them, okay? It's easy. And lastly, have fun. It is one of my favorite cons of the year. Last year, I spent so much time. There's a lot of cool booths this year, a lot of cool celebrities like Haley Steinfeld, Ewan McGregor. What? Like, there's a lot of Twilight people coming. So like, hello, what kind of con is this? It's an everything con. It's a fan expo. There is something for everyone for sure. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I will be there all 4 days of the con. So if you see me, say hello. I don't know what color my hair will be. It will likely be kind of pink. So if you see my pink head bopping around, just say hi. But yeah, thanks. See you there. Bye.
Boom, 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 boom.